Hey, it's Aaron from GameEnthus.com, and this time I'm talking about Night Market from Talon Strikes Studios. Night Market is a spatial worker placement, resource management, recipe fulfillment game designed by Adam Twain, published by Talon Strikes Studios, intended for 1 to 4 players, and for ages 14 and up. I'm hungry right now. Playing this is not going to help, but here we are. Players in Night Market are going to be managing food stalls in the new Night Market in Taipei City. It actually says Taipei City on the city board here. I just couldn't fit it quite into frame. Sorry about that, but there's a lot of components here. I have a 2-player setup. Let me just kind of point out what a lot of the components are. This is the city board, where the city board is going to be comprised of districts, and lantern districts are going to populate the city board based on player count. For a 4-player game or a 3-player game, you would have 3+ player game. You would have more tiles. For a 2-player game, you'd have fewer tiles. You have 4 different types of districts. Some districts sell sausages. Some districts have chicken steaks. Some districts have boba. And other districts have stinky tofu. 4 different types, and there are 5 of each in this stack. And then these are called lantern districts, which sell the same materials, but the lanterns trigger some other actions that I'll get into in a moment. There are 16 of those, 20 of these, 16 of those. These are going to be spread in the city board here. These are the player boards, which have a bunch of different sections where you're going to be given 4 regular stalls, which can be filled with the different types of foods that I just mentioned, the stinky tofu, the boba tea, the sausages, and the chicken steaks. Players will get 4 regular tokens, and then they're actually going to start off with a point and have 1 token that's flipped up, revealing a reputation point. So everybody kind of starts off with 1 point to begin with. If you also notice, the upgraded regular stalls have the same logo in the lower left corner, and that corresponds to your storage and delivery sections. You'd start off with this one, which you don't need anything for. This one will let you sell any remaining food. Essentially, you're delivering some food for $1. Players are going to be building out their stalls with different district foods and then specialty foods on their respective player boards. In addition to the 132 goods, the goods are the aforementioned food types. You also have specialty food types. There's fewer of them because they're a little harder to come by. They're going to be triggered upon getting certain combinations of the regular food types. So those are going to be beef noodle, mochi, soup dumplings, and shaved ice. Over here we have money. So you have 1s and 5s, 10s, 20s, and 50s, and this one here. This is a worker placement game as well, so you're going to start off with 5 of your own meeples. In addition to the regular workers, you're going to have chef meeples that can also go out and bring back foods and so on and so forth. On your player board, I mentioned the storage and delivery. You have the sold out bonuses here, which are triggered when you sell all of your food. You start at the top and then work your way down for every time that you sell out all of your food. The hearts correspond to customers liking certain specialty dishes. The mochi, the soup dumplings, the shaved ice, and the beef noodle. And you took a look at this customer card. This customer wants to buy sausages, but will only buy them from these locations, which means you need to have a tile. They will only buy sausages from a tile in one of these locations. They will buy them from all of them. They're very hungry, but you can't have it here. You can have sausages here and still sell to this customer, because the image here is just a microcosm of your actual board. You'd want that to be here. You really want to get sausage on all 4 of these, because if you do that, if you see here, they will buy a sausage for $2. You could sell them 4 because they're willing to buy 4. So that's $8, which is kind of nice. Might be a little hard to see, but to the lower portion of the actual customer, you see hearts. So anytime if you sell this customer a beef noodle, then you would move 2 spaces on that track. This is the beef noodle track. So every time any customer you sell to, if you sell them their favorite specialty dish, you move the number of hearts indicated on the tracker, thus earning more bonuses. So the game is really about acquiring the food you want from here with an interesting comboing system I'll get into. So you're going to be triggering different foods to get and placing those foods on stalls on your player board and trying to get customers to come over to buy food from you. You have specialty stalls. So I mentioned the beef noodle. This stall in particular requires you to sell 3 sausages. If you sell 3 sausages, then you can earn a beef noodle. So selling 3 sausages during that turn enables you to put a beef noodle here to hopefully sell to a customer. Customers should go below the player board. I just didn't have space. The first customer that you have costs you nothing to sort of advertise to them, I guess. The second costs 5, then 10, then 15. So it costs you more and more to populate this area down here with more customers to sell the food to. They're integral. You got to have the customers. Customers are seasonal. So you're going to have customers that come in the spring. And then if you look in the lower right corner, the customers are going to have sort of a repeat customer requirement. So you need to sell this customer 2 of any type of food that they want. This logo here means it's like a wild. Essentially, you have to sell this customer 2 sausages, and then they will stick around from spring into summer, in which case when spring ends, you flip this card over and now you can sell to this same customer in the summer. But you can't automatically sell to the same customer in the fall because it's only spring and summer. But these are loyalty tokens. If you unlock a loyalty token and put it onto a customer, they can stay at your location regardless of what season it is. The game works over 4 rounds and the seasons are the different rounds. So you start spring, summer, fall, winter. Unlocking loyalty tokens and money at the same time, you need hearts from customers that you sold soup dumplings to, at least 1 to unlock the first loyalty tracker, and then 2 more hearts to unlock the second loyalty tracker, which also comes with money. You get $5 for the first one and then $10 with the second one. There's also seasonal goals in the game. There's a bunch of them. These are just the couple that they sort of recommend for the first games you play. So you have most items sold, most sausage sold tonight, most money earned tonight, and then most popularity. Most popularity essentially means whoever has cubes the furthest out on the signature dish popularity track here. You see there's hearts on it too, which kind of are another visual cue. It's like hearts on the customer trigger movements from left to right on this tracker. And initially you can sell each signature dish for $10, but if you unlock the first space for a mochi, you can take this token and then put it here, and now you can sell signature dishes for $12. 2 more and you can sell for $15. And every player board is going to have a delivery truck, which is a +1. So going into every season except spring, I believe, I think it only works for summer, fall, winter, you could take the delivery truck. Essentially delivers any one resource that you need, meaning a single sausage, a single chicken steak, a single stinky tofu, or a single boba tea, which you could just put into your supply. And then after the market phase, you could put it into your actual stall to hopefully sell to customers you've attracted. Because if you haven't pulled any customers over, you have nobody to sell food to. Okay, there's a lot here. Let me just show you how it looks when it's all set up. I neglected to expound on what these seasonal goals are. So for spring, the seasonal goal is the most items sold tonight. So whoever achieves that, whoever sells the most items in the first round, which is spring, would get first pick of these seasonal attractions. Stars essentially let you upgrade a stall. So were you to take this one, it would let you upgrade a stall. So you can always upgrade a regular stall, which can hold 4 of any food, but no specialties. You could upgrade that, which does give you a reputation point. And if you see the little snowflake icon, it also, I think it's supposed to represent putting something into storage, keeping something cold. It allows you to unlock another one of these. I believe in the final game, they might be foregoing some of the storage mechanic, but for right now, it would allow you to put another one of these in your storage and delivery area. It essentially means you can sell an additional type of food for money. So because you are rewarded for selling out, meaning all the food you've acquired during that day phase, if you sell it all at night, you get to move this marker down, triggering a star here, which lets you upgrade another stall you have, a heart, which lets you move any one of the specialty food items on their tracker here. 2 hearts let you move 2 spaces. I don't know if it's 2 for 1 row, or I think it's just 2. So maybe you can move one, maybe you can move 2 different ones in 1 space, or 2 spaces. I'm not absolutely sure. And then the last one down here would give you an additional 2 reputation points. Much like if you get all of these, you could also get 2 additional points at the end of the game. And that would be, getting all these would mean you would have upgraded all of your regular stalls. So if you upgrade all of them, you would also get 4 points total, because there's a reputation point on each one. It also will let you populate all of these here, thus getting down to the last one to get an additional 2 points. That's what stars mean. Stars means to upgrade a stall currently on your board. These are all essentially victory points, reputation points. Also, all of those are just pure points. These enable you to these specialty food tiles here, you'd have to purchase. If you look on the player board here, the lantern one of the lantern actions is build a stall, which means you would build one of these stalls here. You can pick any one you want. The difference is the difficulty in getting to a specialty food. So the ones and the 2 top rows all require you to have 5 of one of the regular food resources to unlock one of the specialties. So for the yellow column here, if you look in the number in the upper left corner, you need that many stinky tofus to unlock steamed dumplings. You need that many boba teas to unlock mochi. You need that many chicken steaks to unlock shaved ice. You need that many sausages to unlock a beef noodle. So if you're if you are going to spend the money to upgrade a stall, you have to figure out, do I want to get this one with the 5? So it's going to cost me more of the regular resources to unlock a specialty that I could potentially sell to a customer worth a lot more points, 10 to 15, but I also get 2 spaces to put regular foods on it. So you got to figure, if you can generate a whole lot of resources, maybe you want to get the one with 3, you can't put any other regular foods on it, but you can put a specialty. And if you look really closely, you can see that the spaces can take a regular food or a specialty food. It's just that the other ones are just circles. Like, only regular foods can go there, but in the ones in the upper left corner, a specialty food, which are diamond shaped or square shaped, depending on how you orient it, can go there. So you got to figure out, if you need the space to put regular foods to get to the specialty items, maybe get the 5 or a 4. But these can also be upgraded. So if you upgrade the 5, then it goes down to a 4. Now you need 1 less regular food to unlock beef noodle, and you'd get a reputation point. And the other rewards would be for your delivery trucks. So this +1 means you could flip this over. It's a +1 by default for everybody. You flip it over, and now going into every round, you would get 2 of any regular food resource. You can go up to 8. Anytime you place one of your workers, the workers are here, onto a space with a lantern. If you look, you can trigger lantern. You can, instead of taking the food that's on that tile, you can take what's called a lantern action. There's 3 lantern actions. The first one is you can hire a chef. So the first chef you hire, the first time you land on your first meeple that lands on a lantern tile, it does not cost you $5 to initiate taking lantern actions. Essentially, every time after putting a first worker meeple on a lantern space, it costs you $5 to sort of trigger a lantern action. So let's say I put it here. I could take a lantern action without spending $5 to take it, because lantern actions cost more. So for a chef meeple, it costs 15, 25, and 35. If I end up hiring all 3, I get 2 points at the end of the game. For building a stall, I can build 4 more stalls. And if I build all 4, meaning I'm just moving this marker along, I would unlock 2 points at the end of the game. So the 3 actions are hire a chef, build a stall, attract customers. The first customer costs nothing, the second costs 5, third costs 10, and the fourth costs 15. So you can have up to 4 different customers. I'm sorry, my layout does not allow for me to show all of it, but essentially you have 4 of these cards in front of you, and you'll be trying to get the foods into your stalls here to satisfy those customers. So chef meeples work a little differently, where chef meeples at the end of a round, once everybody's meeples have been placed onto the city board, chef meeples can stay on a spot. They can't stay on a lantern spot, but chef meeples can stay on a spot they were originally put on, or any other spot that one of your meeples is already on. So if I really want to start off with a boba tea for the next round, let's pretend all my meeples are out there. I would take the regular one back, put the chef one there, and now when the next round starts, I would just get a boba tea because I already had a chef on it. Chefs kind of stay overnight. I'm not sure how that works thematically, but the chefs just stay overnight, and I guess they're able to negotiate better or something, and they're able to just get more food, which is good. That's what you want. You want to get food. Show you an example of how the comboing works when you're doing your tile, when you're doing your meeple placement. If I were to place a meeple, let's say here, I'll take the stinky tofu because my worker is there. I would also get the boba tea in between myself and another one of my meeples. As long as you're just one space away as long as you're just up to one space away from another one of your workers, you get to trigger what's in between. So I would get the stinky tofu for landing there, get the boba tea because it's in between. I'd also get this boba tea because it's in between another one of my workers. If I were to have 3 of my meeples connected diagonally, I would get all 3 of these. I would get the stinky tofu here, stinky tofu here, and the sausage here. And that would even work if the other example would even work this way, where that meeple was already placed. If I put this meeple here, I would get this stinky tofu. Another player had their worker on it. I would still get a boba tea because this space is in between 2 spaces where I already have my workers. All right, so I've been talking a lot about how this works. Probably should just show you a quick round of how the game might play. I'll start off here with the blue player, and they're going to be eyeing, let's say, this customer here. These are all spring cards. The one on top of the deck also counts, so there's basically 4 cards that are available. But if you notice, 3 of these all have setups that already correspond to our default booth setups, which is an advantage. So I could either really focus on sausages, focus on chicken steaks, or focus on boba teas, a sausage, and a chicken steak. Maybe it's easier just to focus on one thing. Take a look here and see what I can work out. So let's say I place my worker here, I would take a sausage. Now it's this player's turn. They're really going to go for these chicken steaks. So they're going to go here. But they're not going to take the chicken steak. Instead, player 2 is going to trigger a lantern action. So, I also forgot to mention that we all start off with $25 too. Probably should have mentioned that. So Y'all get $25 to start. Player 2, even though they landed on a place with a chicken steak, they're not going to take the chicken steak. They're going to take the lantern action because they landed on a lantern space. It's not going to cost them anything because it's the first time they've landed on a lantern. So what they're going to do is they're going to hire an additional chef. So now this chef is going to come from here and come out there. Now it's going to cost $15 to hire this chef. So I'll put that back and that 20 back, and then they have a whopping $10. Okay, back to player 1. They're really trying to build up sausages here, so they are going to go here and take another sausage. But because now they've surrounded this tile here diagonally, they get to take a boba tea. Back over to this player, and they're going to go here, which gives them a chicken steak and also a boba tea that is in between the two spaces that their workers are on. I should lay these down so they can be seen a little bit better. Back over to this player. They're going to land here. Now, they could take a lantern action because they're on a lantern, but they kind of really want to combo up and get more of the resource that they need. So instead of doing that, now they're going to get all 3 of these resources. For whatever reason, they're going to forego the lantern, for example's sake, and take 2 sausages because of this one, and a boba tea. And now back over to the green player. Okay, they're going to go here. So as you can see, now they have 3 in a row. So they get 2 chicken steaks and the boba tea that they just landed on. Now understand, this is a 2-player game. So in a 3 or 4-player game, there'd be more tiles, but it'd be much more competitive because people are really going to be fighting. You'd have 3 or 4 people all going for these. So it'd be, everything will be a little more heightened. 2 players, it gets competitive. Don't get me wrong, but it's different when you have 3. That's for sure. Okay, so now back over to player 1. What are they going to do? Now we already have 4 sausages, so we know we have enough to satisfy this customer here. If they play their cards right, they could figure out a way to try to get one of the specialties and then unlock the beef noodle, so you can sell this customer 4 sausages and a beef noodle. We're gonna give it a shot. Let's hope it works. I only have 2 more workers left. Let's see. They are going to. So keep in mind, you're also rewarded for selling all your food. I don't know if that's really possible here, because if I'm focusing on selling to this person with sausages, I don't really have anywhere to really sell the boba teas, but we'll see what happens here. They're going to go here. Now, this is the first lantern that this player has landed on. Lantern tile. So that means they can take a lantern action without spending money. I don't need the stinky tofu. So I'm going to forego the stinky tofu to take a lantern action. And what I'm going to take is I'm going to build a stall. So I'm going to move this over. It's going to cost me $5 to build that stall. The stall I'm going to build is this one. You can buy any of them. It doesn't matter. I'm going to get the 4. Because if I sell these 4 sausages, I get to unlock the beef noodle, which I can also sell to this customer. It probably would behoove me to actually get this customer too, because this person could hate draft and get this customer, even though they don't have anything to sell them. But I guess you could do that out of spite, but it also means you're foregoing doing anything yourself. But we'll see what happens here. So let's say I just put this one down here. So I bought a new stall. That's my turn. Okay. This player. Okay. Player 2 really needs to get another chicken steak. So they're going to land here and get a chicken steak. All right. So for that one, instead of doing the chef action, I'm going to do the attract a customer. So that's going to cost me $5 to initiate the lantern action, but the actual cost to take the action is nothing. So now I have this customer. I would actually tuck the card under here, but I can't really show it to you like that. So I'll just put it over here. Now all my workers have been placed. I still have 20 bucks left. I spent $5 to build the stall, but that was for free. Not building the stall, but the trigger was free. So that means I have 20 left. So I should really have 15 left, because it would have cost me $5 to initiate this lantern action to attract the customer, but no money. Probably hard to see, but it's a 0, 5, 10, 15. But that cost me nothing to actually bring the customer over. Now this player has 2 more turns because they have 2 more meeples. So they have all the chicken steaks they need to attract this customer. So they're going to probably go right there. They're going to forego the boba tea on the space in order to take the lantern action of attracting a customer. It's going to cost them $5. Interesting thing is, I would really like to be able to have sold this customer, in addition to 4 chicken steaks, a shaved ice. That'd be fantastic. The only thing is, I don't have a stall to put it in. It's only going to cost me $5 to build a new stall, but it'll cost me $5 to initiate the action to build that stall. I guess it's moot anyway, because there actually are no more lantern spaces. So basically, this person's decisions kind of cost them, player 2's decision kind of cost them 10 more points, because they could have sold a signature dish. But that's how the game works, you know. You can't do it all. The chef goes there and gets sausage. All right, now that's the day phase. The night phase is where you actually place the food in your market. I mean, you can do it as you get it, but you can also wait and kind of see how things are going to work for you. I'll just put this here. I'm going to place the food in the orientation. It doesn't mean it has to be here. It just means it has to be on this tile, in this spot, not necessarily in the corner like this. So this means it could be here, it could be here. It can go like this. It doesn't really matter as long as they're on those tiles. And then I have boba teas that clearly no one's going to buy, but that's okay. This says I'm going to earn $1 for each sausage that I sell. So that's $4. So I would earn 4 ones. And because I sold 4 sausages, I also unlocked a beef noodle. I guess I could have put that here. So I also unlocked a beef noodle, which this customer will also buy for $10. So that's another 10. So that's $14. It's gonna be 4 for the sausage, 10 for the beef noodle. And you notice this customer has 2 hearts next to their head there. So they have 2 hearts, which means I get to move on the beef noodle tracker 2 spaces. So 1, 2. Now, because I moved 1 already, because I moved past 1, means I get this bonus. So I get to upgrade one of my stalls. In addition to that, this tile here lets you sell 1 food via moped, via delivery for $1. So let's say I just sold this boba and I'll just take an extra $1. So at the end of the round, all your food does get reset. So you don't keep anything in between rounds. Maybe for the storage thing, but you know, it depends. Now, my options are I can just upgrade this, any one of these, to get another reputation point, and then get to put one of these here. But I kind of feel like I want to just upgrade this one. I'm going to upgrade this stall to go from 4 sausages for a beef noodle to 3 sausages for a beef noodle. So yeah, they had a pretty good turn. $15. This customer, because I sold them, I met the requirement, I sold them at least 2 things. They're going to stick around and they're going to be there for the summer, in which case they're still going to buy the same food. So this is going to buy them for twice as much money. Now they're going to buy sausages for $2. And then if I sell them anything, if I sell them anything, they'll be worth a point at the end of the game. Player two is going to sell chicken steaks for For the first 2, they sell them for $2. If you sell 3 or more, you sell them for $5 a piece. So yeah. So I'm pretty sure that means that's $20 worth of chicken steaks right there. That's how I'm looking at it. Hopefully I'm not wrong. If I am, you'll see a caption or something. I did sell 4 chicken steaks. If I had one of these 3 tiles in my setup here, I could have unlocked a shaved ice, sold that for an additional 10, and moved up. They have 1 heart here, and I would have moved the shaved ice up a block, and then flip this over. In the beginning of every round, I would earn 2 of any resource that I want, but that didn't happen. However, I did sell them 2 things. It means they're going to stick around for the summer, in which case they're going to buy those same chicken steaks, but for more money. So yay me. So that happened. Because of this card, because of this here, they can sell any resource, anything they have for $1. So let's say they're going to sell this sausage for $1 via moped, via delivery. And these boba teas will go back because you don't keep any food in between rounds there. This customer is going to stick around, just like this customer decided they're going to stick around for the next round. Okay, now how this would work is the player 1 would take all their workers back. Player 2 would take all their workers back. Before they do that, they would be able to leave a chef on the space the chef is on, or another space that one of their workers is on, excluding a lantern space. So these would be the new customers that will come out. Okay, which would give you a nice indicator of where you want to keep your chef meeple, what space you want to keep your chef meeple on to give you an additional resource. So if I look here, that's kind of nice. You can kind of go anywhere there. It also kind of means you should probably spend some money to build out some of those stalls too. You got to make some choices. You can't, because lantern spaces trigger hiring a chef, getting customers, or you got to really figure out like which you're doing at and when, and min max, because you cannot do it all. They're going to keep their chef on the space with the sausage, and they're going to take their meeples back, and that chef's going to stay there, which means beginning of summer, they just get a sausage to begin. We didn't do the reward yet for spring. So we both sold the same amount. Oh no, actually player 1 sold more because player 1 sold a signature dish. So player 1 sold 6 things. One thing I didn't do, you probably should keep things out that you sold so you know how you're going to score these up. Just like in the fall, you want to keep the money you earned in that season separate from your other money that you already went into the season with, so you know where you stand in terms of the money you earned tonight. So it's kind of best to separate things in front of you so you can take a quick glance and count up, okay, I sold 6 things, 7 things. Actually, player 1 sold 6 things and player 2 sold 5 things. Player 1 gets to pick from here first. So they can either upgrade the delivery, get a universal specialty tile, specialty dish tile, 2 victory points just off the bat, or upgrade a single stall. Not getting victory points always seems kind of foolish to me. But let's say they're going to take the specialty. Player 2 is probably going to take the points here. But just for example's sake, because we're not going to go through the whole game, let's say they took this one and they just put it, I don't know, over here. And now they're going to get 2 resources of any resource, regular resources going into the second round. And these 2, all this stuff would kind of go away, and now we'll be focused on the summer, and the game will continue. In the summer and the fall, you set 4 tiles to the side, lantern tiles, and I believe you see it says 2 character icons and A. It means you'd add, I'm showing it, there's an A here and an A up there. So you would add tiles going into the second round. And then at the end of fall, you would add 2 more tiles to B here and B there. So you're adding more lanterns to give more opportunity, because the requirements to satisfy these customers only go up and up and up. And you're going to need more opportunities to take turns to combo to get resources, and then take turns to forego that single resource. Although I think if you land on a lantern space, even if you forego the resource on it, you still can trigger the combos for other tiles that your worker meeples are on in the city board too. So if you plan it right, you could still get stuff, even if you're not getting it for landing on it, because you want to take the lantern actions, because those are very important. Okay, so that is Night Market. There is a solo mode in Night Market, which has its own components and its own setup for moving, I guess, an AI opponent's workers around to restrict you from doing certain things. It uses like a entirely different board as well. We can all relate to having some analysis paralysis around what it is we want to eat when we're hungry, and we're offered a variety of choices. Night Market takes that, sort of flips it. Instead of figuring out what you want to eat, figuring out what you want to serve. Can lead to a really enjoyable and crunchy worker placement and tableau building game to figure out how you can adjust things to make sure that you're in the right position to feed hungry people. It's Night Market. It's up on Kickstarter. Link is in the description. If you enjoyed the video, take care, stay safe, be blessed.